Well, hello. It's good to see you. I'm glad that I have a chance to come back and share with you just a couple of things. The purpose of this today is really just to catch you up on what's going on. I know you've been watching the news, and we have as well. I know you're asking questions about when are we going to open, and perhaps you've been asking the question, when are things going to get back to normal? The reality is they probably aren't. But we will reopen again. That's one of the things that we're looking forward to. But a couple of things we wanted you to be aware of. First of all, we wanted you to know that as a staff, we've been spending a considerable amount of time together trying to make plans. One of the things that's out of our hands is the dating. We don't know when we're going to be able to open. But one of the things we're planning for right now is that as soon as we are able to open, we want to have plans in place so that we can begin immediately to move into that opportunity in order to open and start gathering for worship and a myriad of other things. We really have three goals. First goal is safety. We want you to know that you're our priority. We want to make certain that whatever we do, that we do it in such a way that it keeps you safe, that it minimizes risk. And we want you to know as well, when we come back, it really is up to you to make the decision yourself about when you feel comfortable coming. But as far as our planning, we're planning with you in mind. A second thing that we're doing is that we're also keeping in mind not only your safety, we're keeping in mind the government regulations. The CDC, our city, our parishes, our state, they continue to issue a number of guidelines for us. And we want to make sure that we're being good citizens. We want to make sure that we're hearing what they're saying. We believe that they're working in such a manner that they're making these decisions in order to protect us and to make some decisions that protect the population at large. And we want to be sure that we're cooperative with them. The third thing that's guiding us is not only your safety and the CDC and the regulations that are laid in front of us, but the third thing is simply this: we want to worship. We want to gather together. Our goal is ultimately that we'll have the opportunity to come back into this place to worship once again as a church family. Now let me remind you of a couple of things. Ministry is going on right now. The church has not shut down. We just have not been able to gather at 401 Conifer Boulevard for worship. But we have been worshiping. We're thankful for the opportunities that God has given us to worship online. And I imagine when we come back together as a church, we're going to continue to provide those opportunities of online worship and online Bible study in some form. Those things will carry forward. But we are making plans to gather back here in this place. When you come back, I want you to go ahead and make some preparations. One of the things you can be prepared for, it's not going to be like it was. We're going to have to make some changes. We might ask you, and I know this is not very Baptist-like, we may ask you to sit in a seat that is not your normal seat. And we want you to begin now to prepare for that, because for some of you, it may take just a little bit of time to make those preparations. We're more than likely going to be wearing masks when we come in order to protect each other. There's other things that are happening when we gather back in this place. It's probably going to be, at least at the beginning, just as a time of worship. We probably won't be able to do small groups. As long as social distancing is a requirement for us, we won't be able to do things like the nursery and extended care and take care of children's ministry. But as soon as we're able, we will certainly embrace those and begin to move forward. So I come to you today to simply tell you this. We're planning. Behind the scenes, we're thinking, what does tier 1? What does tier 2? What does tier 3 look like? And we also want you to know that as soon as we have permission, we're going to make sure you know exactly what we're doing. We're going to make sure you're going to know exactly how we're going to do things. And we're going to give you time to make adjustments. I imagine that when we get word, it'll be a few weeks after we get word to you that we're going to be able to take steps forward. We'll make certain you know what is going on. I'm reminded of the verse which simply says this: and whatever you do in word or in deed, do all unto the Lord Jesus, in order to bring him the praise and to bring him the glory that he deserves. And that's really what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do things in such a manner that God gets the honor, that God gets the glory that he deserves. We want to encourage you to stay in touch with us. We want to encourage you to be looking for information that's going to be coming out. You're going to be receiving a survey that's attached to an email. And we encourage you to fill that out in order to Let us hear from you, to hear of your concerns, to hear of your plans, and to hear of your thoughts. Don't hesitate to call. The church is open. Our staff, we're ready to talk with you. Let us hear from you so that we can share your concerns, so that we can hear what's on your heart, and so that we can continue to move forward in the ministry that God has given us. When everything is said and done, it's all about Him. Our desire is for Him to be pleased and for Him to be praised. May God bless you.